let's talk about words. Have you ever played this game? I love playing it, especially when you get the giant outdoors one. If you don't know it, that's okay. Here's how it works. It starts as a full tower, and you take it in turns, knocking out bricks and placing them back on top until it falls. Then you rebuild and you start again. What's your favourite offline game? Words are super powerful. They're a bit like a game of Jenga. You know, they could be used to build people up, but they can also be used to pull people down. I wonder if you've ever had an experience where someone's words have left you feeling sad. I'm not going to ask you to put your hands up or anything, but I'm sure that most of us have. But I wonder if also we've had words said to us that make us feel amazing, that make us feel so good and so courageous and so full of life. A bit like when we rebuild the Jenga block, built up and strong. And I wonder if we've ever said words that tear people down or build people up. I think most of us probably have said a word at least once that has hurt someone. But also, I reckon all of us have said words that make people feel good. Words are really powerful. And it's really hard when we can't think of the right word or can't say the words that we need to say. Words also sometimes are exciting. Sometimes we hear something and we just want to tell someone else. Now, sometimes that's a really good something. But sometimes we take other people's stories and we tell them to other people in a way that maybe that person wouldn't have wanted. Sometimes we tell people's stories without them even knowing we know their stories. I wonder if you've heard of the story of Gray. You see, Gray loved words, and Gray loved taking words and passing them on to people. In fact, sometimes Gray would see words like food, like tasty food, that it was almost like when they heard something that someone else was saying, even if they weren't meant to be hearing it, it was like they wanted to gobble it up. And sometimes when they retold those words, they'd add some flavour and some spice to it. So it wasn't exactly what they'd heard, but near enough. And other people didn't seem to mind. They liked hearing, as long as it wasn't about them. One day, the leader of the city called Gray to their home. Now, Gray's super excited because why not? Like hashtag selfie with the leader of the town. This was exciting. And also, what if the leader of the city told Gray something that Gray could pass on to someone else? This was so exciting. Gray was born for this moment. So Gray turned up at the home of the leader of the city. Now, the leader of the city was a very wise person, and they sat Gray down with a cup of tea, of course. By James on Amazon Music. Alexa obviously likes tea. And the leader of the city said to Gray, "I've heard all about you." Gray obviously was excited about this. Maybe there was some sort of job that the leader of the city would have them to do. And in fact, there was. The leader of the city said, "I have a challenge, a job for you. And the job is this. I want you to take these bags of feathers and I want you to spread them amongst the city." Now, Gray thought this was a little bit weird, but maybe there was a festival coming up or something, or maybe it was a test to see if they would do what the leader asked them to do. And so they happily took these feathers. And Gray thought, do you know what? This gives me a chance. I could give these feathers out to people. As I give them out, maybe I'll overhear some gossip that I can pass on to someone else. I have an opportunity to talk to everyone in the city right now because there were hundreds and hundreds of these feathers. So Gray went out and began to hand out the feathers. Sometimes he gave out more than one, and he threw some into the air just to see where they landed. And when he got to the river of the city, he poured some into the river thinking, this is great, they'll go down to the town below us. Gray returned to the home of the leader, super excited. "I've done it," said Gray. "I've handed out, I've got rid of every single feather." Smiling to themselves, Gray thought, and I've heard a lot of stuff. I could tell the leader all this stuff I've heard. But before Gray could speak again, the leader of the town said, "Now I have a second part to this challenge. All I need you to do is collect up every single feather that you have just handed out." But that's impossible. Like, I don't even know who I handed it out to. Some people really liked the feathers they've got, and I don't know how they'd feel about me asking for it back. And the leader sat down with Gray and said, and Gray, this is like the words that you speak out to people. They're very easy to hand out, but they're very hard to get back. So be careful of your words, because words matter. And words can build or words can pull down. And we want to be people who build others, because people who build others are built up in themselves. So I want to give a bit of encouragement to you. You have the power to build up other people with words. Did you know that the word encourage is from the word courage? It means literally to put courage into other people. And you know what? The more we do that, the more people also do it back to us. And we don't do it so that we get encouraged. Actually, it boosts our happiness just to encourage people. And if right now words are being used to upset you, then I want to encourage you to speak to a teacher that you trust, or your parents, or to a trusted adult like a youth leader, or you can phone Childline on this number here. There's always someone that you can talk to, because words shouldn't be used to hurt. Words should be used to build up. So why don't we spread kindness this week? I've got a challenge for you. I want you to turn to the person next to you. Tell them something that you think is great about them. And you can't just say you're really nice, and you can't just say you're really friendly. I want you to think of something that you can say which is really positive. And maybe even give them a situation of how you know that's true about them, or of why you think that is true. So this would be an example. If I was in year 3 again, I would turn to my friend Jo, and I would say to her this: Jo, you are so friendly and so welcoming. And I know that because on my first day of school, where I knew no one, you asked me to sit next to you. And so that's how I know that you are really friendly and welcoming. Perhaps your teacher might want to give you some time to think about it. Or maybe you want to do it as a much bigger session in your class, choosing to use positive words and see what a difference it makes to that person, and see what a difference it makes to you.
Sorry, I don't know that one.
Of course.
Please sit down. They're James, and I'm his music.
Alexa obviously likes tea. Shush.